Hi, Taylor. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. So today for our lesson, we're actually going to learn a really great strategy to help you avoid making careless algebraic mistakes in there, and also to speed up your algebra a little bit. And so what do you think of that?
Awesome. Let's get started.
All right, great. So I'm going to open up a practice problem here, and I'm going to use this to basically demonstrate how we're going to do this wonderful strategy called plugging in. All right. And so I'm going to read this problem to you out loud here. So we have Claire is C years old and is 6 years younger than Alan. And then it says, in terms of C, how many years old will Alan be in 3 years? All right. And so wouldn't it make your life easier if Claire had a real number age instead of a letter age?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to do here. We're actually going to make Claire a real age, and things are going to become a lot easier. And so I'm just going to ask that you avoid making her 0 years old or 1 year old here. So what do you think? How old do you want to make your Claire?
How about 10?
Perfect. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a rectangular box around this number because we are going to have a lot of numbers on our page, and it's really important that we separate out the numbers that are going to be important here. Okay, good. The other thing we're going to do is if we see this phrase in terms of C, we get to cross it off. It's confusing, and we actually don't need it here because we are doing plugging in. Okay.
Awesome.
Good. So now that we know our Claire has a real age, who else's age are we going to know?
Alan's.
Yes. And so if Claire is 10, how old is our Alan here?
16.
Perfect. Yes, good, because she is 6 years younger than he is. Good. And so now, Taylor, what's the question asking for here?
How old he'll be in 3 years.
Perfect. And so how old will our Alan be in 3 years?
He'll be 19.
Perfect. And that is going to be our target. And so right here, we are going to label this the target and put a big circle around it like it's our bullseye. It's what we're trying to get back to. All right. So now comes our final step, and that final step is we must check all 5 answer choices to see which one equals 19. Okay, so we're going to plug in our C of 10, and we're going to try to get back to our target of 19. All right, so let's go ahead here. We're going to do 10 minus 6, and what do we get for this one?
3. Oh, sorry, 4.
You're right, 4, good. And so here, does 4 equal 19?
Nope.
Good, so we're going to cross that one off. And then I'm going to do 10 minus 3. And what is 10 minus 3?
7.
Good. And that still doesn't equal our target, so we're going to keep going. And then we're going to do 10 plus 3. And what do we get there?
13.
Great. We're getting closer, but we're not there yet. And we're going to have 10 plus 5. What do we get there?
15.
Great. Even closer. And finally, our last one, 10 plus 9. What do we get?
19.
19, and that matches our target perfectly, and this is going to be our final answer.
Awesome.
So what do you think of that strategy?
Definitely makes it easier.
Definitely, I agree. So we're going to do one more practice problem that actually comes from your SAT Blue Book in here. So if you want, we're going to take a look here at test 2 in there, and this is going to be test 2. Section 3 and question 12. So this is on the no calculator portion, unfortunately. So we're going to have to do a little bit of, hand math in here. And so can you see that question okay?
Yep.
All right. So once again, the kind of trigger for plugging in is we see these variables in the answer choices and we don't have numbers for them. So our strategy is going to be to make up numbers for them. All right. So it says right over here that a website uses the formula above to calculate a seller's rating, R, based on the number of favorable reviews and unfavorable reviews. Which of the following expresses the number of favorable reviews in terms of the other variables? All right. So here, there's not necessarily a target per se. We're basically going to try to see which one of these equations works in the end. All right. So we're going to start by making up some variables up here. And it's actually going to make sense for us to make up F and N first, right? Because what variable is going to pop out when we make F and N?
R.
R, perfect. Good, so what do you want to make your F?
What about 2?
Perfect, we can make it pretty much anything we want except 0 or 1. So we're going to make F2. And what do you want to make your N?
3.
Perfect. Good. And we're putting boxes around these guys in here. And so now we're going to calculate R. So we're going to have 2 over 3 plus 2. And what do we get there for R? What's R going to equal?
2/5.
Perfect. And that is going to be one of our other variables. So I'm just going to mark it with a box. And now that we have all 3 variables, we're going to check all 4 answer choices here to see which one equals, our number 2 for F. All right. So let's start over here with A. I'm going to do the work over here to the left-hand side. So we're going to have 2/5 as R times our N of 3. And that's going to all be over R of 2/5 minus 1. Okay. So on the numerator, if you remember how to multiply fractions, we multiply across the top and the bottom. So for the numerator, we're going to have 6 over 5. Good. And that's going to be 2/5 minus 1 is actually going to be a negative 3/5. And so when you have a positive divided by a negative, you always get a negative, right? So we don't really even have to check this one in here because we know we're not going to get a positive 2. So does that make sense there?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so we can use process of elimination and get rid of that one. And now we're going to try in here, we're going to try B. And so let's take our R of 2/5 times our N of 3. And we're going to divide by 1 minus 2/5. So let's do a little bit of math over here. We said 2 times 3 was 6, 5 times 1 was 5. So you have 6/5 divided by 1 minus 2/5 is going to be 3/5. And then when we divide fractions, we actually multiply by the reciprocal. You might remember that from, algebra 1 in there. So I'm going to multiply this guy by 5/3. And once again, when we go across the top and the bottom, what is 6 times 5?
30.
Good. And what is 5 times 3?
15.
Good. And 30 divided by 15 reduces to?
2.
2. Perfect. And so right there, look at that. That equals our F of 2. So this is more than likely going to be our correct answer. And if you were to go and check the remaining 2 answer choices using all of the numbers listed above, you'd realize that they do not equal 2 as F. And so our final answer using our own numbers is going to be B. And so did that help out in there?
Definitely.
Because otherwise you'd have to do a lot of algebra and manipulation to isolate F by itself. And it just makes a lot more sense to make up numbers when we can.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully this strategy helped you as you embark on your homework assignment this week.
Thank you so much.
All right, no problem. And I'll see you next week, Taylor.
Alrighty.
Take care.
Bye.